Editorial in the Des Moines Register about Dubuque's progress. We've also been recognized with the All-American City Award from the National Civic League. Forbes in 2010 named us the best small city to raise a family. We received the 2010 International Awards for Livable Communities. We were third place, but we were third place to two cities that are not in the United States. And we were the only gold community standard in the entire United States of any size. Fast Company magazine picked us as one of the 10 smartest cities on the planet. And Mayor Roy Buell was on the cover just last November of Connected World magazine when we were named one of the 7 most connected localities in the United States. Now this was 2010. In 2009, he was also in this magazine, named one of the 10 most innovative people in the United States. Also on that list was the president and CEO of Amazon.com. The United States Conference of Mayors recognized us as the most livable small city in the United States. And that's the end of my presentation. And remember, one of the 5 goals was sustainability, and Mayor Roy Buell will talk to you about that goal.
Thank you, Mike. I'm honored to participate today to discuss one of my favorite topics, Dubuque, Iowa. A little personal background is that I'm a lifelong Dubuque resident. My public service began first as a member of the City Council, beginning in 1996, followed by being elected as mayor in 2005. Now in my 16th year of service and 2nd year as mayor, I believe I can attest to the fact that Dubuque's transformation is the direct result of many, many public-private partnerships that we have worked together to cultivate locally, regionally, and nationally, bolstered by our community's can-do spirit, one that remains to this day focused not on whose idea something is, but rather how we can work together to turn a good idea into reality. During my mayoral campaign in 2005, I shared my belief that the next 5 years would define the next 50 years for Dubuque, with a focus on sustainability initiatives. I was sworn in as Dubuque's mayor in January 2006, and early that summer attended my first U.S. Conference of Mayors. The U.S. Conference of Mayors is a bipartisan national organization comprised of mayors from cities with 30,000 or greater population. We focus on collaborative community leadership, as well as lobbying on behalf of communities at the federal level. During the 2006 conference, I joined with 230 other mayors to sign on to the Mayor's Climate Protection Agreement to address climate solutions through reduction of carbon dioxide emissions in our cities. Today, well over 1,000 mayors of cities with populations over 30,000 have signed on with their commitment. When I returned from that June 2006 conference, I shared what I had learned with my council colleagues, including the collective belief that grassroots efforts would become the impetus to achieving a national policy to address climate change solutions. At our goal-setting session in August of 2006, we voted unanimously to pursue sustainability, green city, as a city council top priority, and it's remained the top priority every year since. The success of the Dubuque sustainability vision is simple. It is grassroots and community-driven. In 2007, we created a sustainability task force comprised of individuals who brought diverse backgrounds and interests to the process, and who met regularly to develop an ongoing process to gain input from our citizens about what sustainability meant to them. In July of 2007, over 200 presentations were made to community organizations to gather input. 150 community members participated in shareholder meetings to discuss targeted visions and ideas. And over 860 community surveys were completed, and the results were used along with other data collected by task force to develop the sustainability vision statement and guiding principles. Sustainable Dubuque was developed as both an organized and collaborative approach by and for citizens. While there are several definitions for sustainability, our task force chose to define sustainability as a community's ability to meet the environmental, economic, and social equity needs of today without reducing the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Dubuque's vision statement for sustainable Dubuque states: Dubuque is a viable, livable, and equitable community. We focus on the three-part model of economic prosperity, social and cultural vibrancy, and environmental integrity in order to create a sustainable legacy for generations to come. Our vision statement is supported by 11 key sustainability principles supporting the three pillars. Tied to the pillar of environmental integrity are three principles: healthy air, clean water, and native plants and animals. Tied to the economic prosperity are four principles: regional economy, smart energy use, resource management, and community design. And finally, tied to the social cultural vibrancy are four principles: green buildings, healthy local foods, community knowledge, and reasonable mobility. Like every one of our city's success stories, Sustainable Dubuque is built upon public-private partnerships that include citizens, government, business, schools, and nonprofits. Our Sustainable Dubuque model has not only been widely embraced in Dubuque, it has been recognized by many communities throughout Iowa, the region, and all the way to Washington, D.C. What we have grown to understand as a community is that our individual and collective actions do have a global impact. As a result of this awareness, we are aggressively and innovatively working to do our part to ensure future generations can enjoy the same life quality as we do today. As I shared in 2006 with my city council colleagues and city staff, our communities are positioned to be one of the greatest instruments to fight for climate change solutions through the collective interpretation and sharing of carbon footprinting data. What we believe is that cities that get involved early and communicate an understanding of the risks and strategies to respond to climate change will be in a strong position to establish a competitive advantage economically. In early 2008, Dubuque hosted its first Growing Sustainable Communities Conference entitled Leading the Way to Global Climate Solutions here in the Grand River Center. It was a regional event that was attended by over 600 elected officials, business and community leaders, and college students from the tri-state area. This inaugural and now an annual conference was designed to provide citizens with the knowledge of experts about the science of climate change, what that means to our communities, and what we can do that will make it possible for future generations to enjoy our quality of life. Also in 2008, the City Council further demonstrated its commitment to sustainability by authorizing the creation of a full-time Sustainable Community Coordinator position in our City Manager's office, notably the first of its kind in Iowa. Numerous businesses have joined the Green Connection, including our local newspapers, construction companies, waste services, heating and cooling companies, architect firms, water heater suppliers, grocery stores, paper companies, window and door companies, banking institutions, schools, churches, and more. Keep in mind that the overarching goal of Sustainable Dubuque is to consistently develop policies and programs that address all three pillars of the model to create a community that is viable, livable, and equitable, and that utilize the 11 sustainability principles or building blocks of Dubuque's strategy to improve community and life quality. In the end, Dubuque's focus on the vision and path to sustainability has been a very public process. And the important aspect that I believe sets Dubuque apart is that the City Council and City staff set about involving citizens in that process from the outset, and learning from a citizen-driven task force about what sustainability meant to them. What Dubuque is achieving collectively today through its Sustainable Dubuque model is a direct result of the knowledge and understanding that sustainability is a balanced approach to life quality. And it is a rare approach to life quality where no one is excluded. Everyone who wants to do so can participate and contribute. That's pretty special. And that is what is unique in Dubuque's ability to continue to innovate and transform. its form. Sustainable Dubuque is proving that when local government takes a vision to the grassroots, citizen engagement is the driving force to its success. It has to begin with local leadership and a vision, and then inspiration and education, buy-in, implementation, assessment, and at each level, trust in the leadership. We have been successful with Sustainable Dubuque and its citizen engagement piece because we have been consistent with our vision. Obviously, our efforts are focused on Dubuque, but we believe we are building a replicable model for sustainable communities, particularly those with populations under 200,000, where 40% of our nation's population resides. We are engaged with state, regional, and national organizations to help create a more sustainable future. These collaborations offer Dubuque and other communities the chance to share best practices, learn from each other, and support regional and national initiatives and programs. A final piece I want to touch on today is Dubuque's partnership announced in September 2009 with IBM Research. The IBM division responsible for the Let's Build a Smarter Planet campaign for a research project named Smarter Sustainable Dubuque. Fully launched in 2010, the goal of this project is to give Dubuque citizens what they need, reliable information specific to them, to do what they want, which is to save money, conserve resources, and support the local economy and environment. Over 1,200 households have stepped up to participate in pilot studies to analyze water, electricity, and natural gas use, and the next components will involve travel and health. Over $10 million in public, private, and private investment was pledged to support the community's sustainable Dubuque research efforts. Importantly, this project could not have happened without these volunteer households in Dubuque who believe in the concept of using integrated information to take individual action to improve both economic and environmental outcomes in Dubuque. We're proud that IBM chose Dubuque as its first smarter city in North America for this project, and we're excited about the possibilities this research can provide for Dubuque and for communities and other cities, countless other cities. Where there is so much more to be shared, this brief overview introduces you to what has been truly a remarkable 5-year history for Sustainable Dubuque. I thank you for your interest, and I hope all of our Iowa communities can learn from each other as we focus on ways to resolve the many challenges facing U.S. cities today and in the long term. Thank you, and now I'll turn it over to Rick Dickinson.
Well, folks, my name is Rick Dickinson, but for a few minutes I'm going to be Bill Callahan. And let me explain to you who Bill Callahan is. He's Executive Vice President of Dubuque Bank and Trust. And for his presentation today, he was going to discuss a group called Dubuque Initiatives, and Bill is the chairman of Dubuque Initiatives. The reason for this discussion is that Dubuque Initiatives is an example of a private nonprofit partnership that has been instrumental in this community since the 1980s. Dubuque Initiatives, I'm going to go around here in front of you. If I speak up like this, can you folks hear me okay? No? That's not too loud, is it, Mike? Okay. Before I start, too, I'd like to say that, what's your name again?
Yeah, thanks, Rick. I knew that was coming.
Mike Regan. I'd like to congratulate ABI. I think
You called me worse.
Yeah. Mike, I think, is the finest association exec in the state. I had the pleasure of working with him when he headed up the Department of Revenue. This guy's quality, understands governance, and I think he has great credibility with the business community and with you until he said that I was a pro-business Democrat. But they do exist. Tim will attest to that. What's your Tim? They do. Dubuque Initiatives was founded quasi in 1978. It was at that time called Dubuque in Ventura. And what they did was they pulled some federal money in 1980 to develop something that was missing in the market of Dubuque, and that was industrial land. And so if you go out west on Highway 20, you'll come to what is the Dubuque Industrial Center. And in 1980, Dubuque in Ventura was responsible